Life of a touring musician.
I got my guitar, it's traveled the whole wide world with me. It took me this far, way beyond my wildest dreams. Now music saved my very soul. I like to think it keeps me from getting old.
I got my cello, it's traveled the whole wide world with me. It took me this far, way beyond my wildest dreams. Now music soothes my very soul. I like to think it keeps Joe from getting old. Ha! So we've arrived at our hotel, and there are no carts, which is unusual. So, I mean, this is how much stuff we have. We bring things in for safety and security and temperature and humidity and all the reasons. So it looks like today, this is our gym. We're on the 3rd floor. Let's see how this goes. All right.
Found it.
Yay! I love when life turns.
There is a God.
Is a gift. On the road, this is such a huge gift.
Yeah. We're the reason they made luggage carts.
What kind of guitar you play?
What brand? They're all custom made.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a Taylor, the
yeah.
700 series, and
Yeah, they make
like pretty well.
Taylors are great.
I was gonna say this isn't as much of a gym experience as we were expecting after all. The cart. Well, unless the elevator breaks. Wow, that doesn't feel right at all. Okay, we survived. Whew. Somebody said about Kansas, it's miles and miles of going miles and miles. I thought that was actually really cool.
Hey, I don't know what I'm doing, back in this town again. The streets are empty and without a friend.
Hey, Joe.
The bar
None of you.
relax
Good to see you guys again.
as I play.
I'm Renee.
Says I'll never make it this way. Hey, I don't know what I'm doing, back in this town again. Here where love's a business that you can't get in. It's getting late and the streets are dim. I'm on my way. I'm on my way again. does it feel on stage to you?
Oh, good. It's not blowing me off stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels good. You know, it took me like 2 years of wearing a headset mic to figure out that I could put this thing under my hair. It's like a joke. How many musicians does it take to put on a headset mic? Scary.
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2. Hannah's vocal. Check 1, 2, 3.
Strumming chords upon the sun, setting fire to the heart of you that feels the drum. Okay, good. I'm going to also have you do one more thing. Would you mind coming to get my phone? And I'm going to have you do the dB meter, and I'm going to do this and watch it, see where it comes in roughly. And then I'll do it on the, and then with your perception versus what that's saying.
We've got this couple, got to hear them. They are so fantastic, so diverse, so entertaining. So I think you're going to really enjoy the show tonight. They're a great couple, fabulous musicians in their individual senses. As a duet, they're fabulous. They're very interactive. You get to know a lot about them, their lives, and their music. So please welcome Acoustic Eidolon.
All right. Hello, everybody. Well, we're thrilled to be back, and we're so happy you've chosen to join us here this evening. For any of you joining us for the first time, welcome. And so let's see, I'm Joe, and that's Hannah, lest there be any confusion this evening. And we live just north of Boulder, Colorado, so we came a ways to share our music with you. And tonight we'll be playing music from our 13 CDs, so relax, we'll be here a while. And, yeah, we get to tour the US and Europe every year. We'll be heading over to Germany and France next week, actually. So we're going to warm up here on a tune we wrote about a fishing village on the eastern coast of Scotland. It's a beautiful place called Stonehaven. Well then, I would like to take a moment and explain to you what separates Hannah and myself from all the other guitar-cello duos that you see out there these days. And,
I realized two things. One was that someday I would have to buy a cello that would be my voice in this lifetime. And the second thing was, that was probably going to be expensive. And so I started a piggy bank fund when I turned 10 years old. And I kept adding to my fund and kept playing the cello. And by the time I got in my 20s, I started looking for that voice, for my voice in this world. From trunk to scroll, I had no choice. But now I'm living through hollow curves, roots to strings, now I'm heard.
So Hannah and I give 120 concerts a year, which is awesome. And we've found ourselves in some really cool venues over the years as we toured around the world. And recently we were invited to do 2 weeks of concerts on the Faroe Islands.
And then at one point, because we all had headlamps on, right? So at one point we all collectively shone our headlamps up to see if we could see the top of the cave, and we could not. So it was like being in this huge cathedral of a cave. It was just gorgeous, but filled with these waves. So we played in there for an hour, and then something shifted, and the skipper said, "Okay, time to go," and out we all went. It was just amazing. And so we'd like to take you into the caves with this next song. This is one of the Faroese tunes that we learned before this tour and while we were over there. And we played it inside that cave. We had always known about, but never met in person. And it was the most just powerful, life-changing trip for both of us. Neither of us feel like we came back as entirely the same people somehow. So it was one of those.
I got a t-shirt. It was a life-changing t-shirt.
Hey Renee, if you have a CD player, we'd like to give you a CD.
go Marco?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not marked. Let me grab my sword real quick.
Yeah.
I have that one on right here.
I'll grab mine too.
I did a really bad job of that. I forgot when we were in verse 6. I was just like, I don't know. Sometimes it's just not enough coffee. Sorry, 24, right? This is sort of like just tempo right now.
Oh, that was great. Boom.
And it keeps growing, it can be strong into that, you know what I mean? We don't taper off. We
Yeah.
can't work it off. So we'll kind of hold it and then cut and then come right in.
That'll be big fun.
Let's take a few minutes.
So you're backstage with us. It's extremely hot back here,
Hot in here.
which is actually really great. Normally it's freezing backstage, and I get cold with nerves anyway, so this is actually kind of a luxury. But
We're getting ready for our show at the Hutchinson Symphony Orchestra. Rehearsal went very well. They're a very good orchestra.
so good. The pitch is solid. There's a lot of just cool camaraderie and kindness within the group. It's going to be a great time playing with them.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And they're going to make the announcement, it sounds like, that this might be one of their last concerts. So it's a bittersweet thing for them too, I think.
I'm sure. Yeah, the orchestra is ending after 60 years, and we're their last concert. So that's both an honor and it's sad too at the same time.
It is sad because it's a whole community. You build these things to be parts of people's lives. And then when you just take it away, there's nothing to replace that. And for players who this is their outlet or their place to play in a community, sort of a symphony is like a church for musicians in a way. Yeah, once we set foot on that stage, for me, there's a trick of my heel hitting the stage that it doesn't matter if it's the two of us or we're with a symphony. There's magic in that. I spent years dreaming of that when I was little, and so there's something about taking that first step on the stage where that's it. Now it all unfolds, and as much as you've practiced, as much as you've prepared, as much as you've warmed up, it all just dissolves, and you're in the moment of the actual concert, and you're creating it live right there. And so I think that's where there's this like surge of energy that comes up before that. It's nerves, but it's more like a sharpening, at least for me. For some people it's excitement, super nerves, and that's hard, I think. Yeah. But yeah.
I'm just here for the ice cream.
Thank you all for coming. I'm so glad to see you. Glad that you were here to share with us our final concert. Such a delight to bring back to our stage to play with us, sing for you. Two wonderfully talented musicians. They have been here with us before. We're so delighted that they're here to join us for this last concert. This is Acoustic Eidolon, Hannah Alkire and Truscott.
Thank you so very much. What an honor it is for us, Hannah and I, to be here in front of this fabulous symphony. Thank you, folks, for sharing the stage with us this afternoon, and what an honor it is to be a part of their last performance. So. rest of the story is when Chris finished the build of this cello, it turns out there was enough wood left over to build this guitar. So these two instruments are built from the same piece of curly maple for the backs and neck and sides of the instruments, as well as the same piece of Engelmann
I have to
spruce
show you
for
that
the
as
top.
well, 'cause that's actually really cool. Sorry, Mama.
So, anyway, so what that means is we had twins. They're fraternal, they're not identical, but they're definitely twins. They're the same.
Thank you so much. Diane, the board, thank you. I don't know, I thought about this for a while, and sum up the experience is beyond the words that I can define or that have come to my mind. The main thing that I think of is I've had a remarkable opportunity to make incredible music with incredible musicians for 18 years. It's probably one of the most rewarding things in my life. And I'll always be grateful to all of you, my friends, who have been tolerant of me, put up with me, and come back for more. A little mystified by that. We have one more piece we're going to play for you. I wanted us to have one more round as an orchestra together, as our family here up here on the stage, sharing with you, our family that have supported us through these years. And this is a piece that I just think sums things up. It's an amazing song of triumph. It's the last movement of Tchaikovsky's Fourth Symphony.